Hi, welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with VI Rabbi. I'm Rabbi Adam Stein. So, I want to tell you a little story about one of our ancestors in the Bible, Aaron. And I was just telling this story, this midrash, sort of a bit of rabbinic description of Aaron. I was telling it at the Lunch and Learn a week or two ago. I was teaching the Lunch and Learn called Truth and Lies in Politics. And this story is sort of an example of when it might be okay to lie for a good purpose. But of course I'm also thinking about Aaron because we're in the second Torah portion of Leviticus now, the book of Vayikra, in our weekly Torah readings. And so many of these early Torah portions from Leviticus, and really the whole book of Leviticus, is really focused on Aaron and his sons and all the work they do in the tabernacle and the altar. So I'm thinking about Aaron a lot. And this story is really great. It's about how Aaron was, we're told, a lover of peace and a pursuer of peace. He sought peace and he pursued it, and there's all these statements about him doing that and about how that's a value we should seek to uphold as well, and to act in with him as a model. So the story goes like this: when Aaron would see two people having some sort of conflict or an argument, maybe two friends or maybe enemies or frenemies, he would go up to one of them. He would sit with them and say, "Look what your fellow, your friend, your colleague. Look what he's doing. He's distraught. He's crying. He's so sad because he's upset you, and he's saying, 'Woe is me! How can I lift my eyes and see my friend? I'm ashamed for him because I've sinned. I've sinned against him.'" And sort of telling person two that person one is so upset, and then he goes up to person one and he says the exact same thing, but the corollary. He says, "Oh, your friend is so upset. He's crying. He feels so bad that he's hurt you." So by telling each of them that the other is so upset and wants to make up and be friends again, then they come together and they heal the wounds. So he's bringing people together and making peace between people by telling lies to both of them. But it's upheld as this amazing thing and a real model that we should strive towards in terms of bringing peace between people. And it's a wonderful model, and we actually praise Aaron every morning in our prayers, saying that we should be like Aaron and the disciples of Aaron, seeking peace and pursuing it. And the rabbis really emphasize that pursuing that. Not only did he seek peace, but he actively pursued it. And speaking of that idea, peace and seeking peace between people and between different types of people, it's really on our minds also this week. And in the past, really, I think it's exactly a week now since the awful shooting in New Zealand, and there have been really some very positive, bittersweet but positive comings together in our community and communities around the world since then. A gathering at the mosque on Friday night on 8th Avenue, and then a gathering at an Islamic center in Richmond and Surrey and all sorts of places. That's just here, but beyond as well. And so we're doing some more things also. We're doing something about Easter and Passover. And that's with the Catholic Archdiocese, and that's April 8th in the evening at St. Patrick's Church on Main. And then later, right after Passover, we're doing an event with an Islamic center down in Richmond about fasting in our traditions. And then some great Passover-specific events we have here for our community, Pesach University, which is going to be really great. 3 hours in the morning, 10:15 to 1:15 on Sunday, April 14th. I'll be teaching, and Rabbi Infeld and Lissa Weinberger and Jay Eidelman, about all sorts of great topics, kidney oat, rice, beans, etc., taught by Jay, and how to choose the right Haggadah and multi-generational seders. Really great stuff for your seders and your Pesach observance. That's on April 14th. And then our seders. We have matzah maror and macaroons. I think the fourth time we've done this, and this is the seder that we do for young families, little kids, medium-sized kids, parents, grandparents, etc. That's in the late afternoon, early evening on the second day of Pesach, which is a Saturday, the 20th of April, 5 to 7. And Landon Braverman will be joining Rabbi Infeld and me as we lead. He grew up in the shul, and he's a Broadway composer and Jewish educator in New York. And then our second night, adult Seder, right afterwards, starting at 7:45. We're going to start as early as we can, but really need to start once it starts to get dark. It'll be singing and the blessings, traditional Seder, and some conversation, really wonderful food, some congregants sharing and singing. We have a great committee working with me and with Rabbi Infeld to put on that Seder, and Landon will join us again. So some great stuff for Passover, and a really great model in Aaron about bringing people together and peoples together. Shabbat Shalom.